Billy or Book of Enoch is not what you think. Billy Carson and Forbidden Knowledge. Forbidden Knowledge. Okay, but they've spelled it with a 4 and whatnot. This Billy Carson guy, I'm telling you guys, he's not of God. If you're a genuine, true Christian, you need to stay away from this guy. But let's see what this video is about anyways.
I think there's some interesting things about the book of Enoch that need to be talked about. They tell you that this guy was just, a real good guy, and he did everything that God wanted. And so that's the story that you get, but that's not the actual true story. Noah is actually Zeazudra. Enoch is the great-grandfather of the person that was actually given the instructions on how to build a ship to be saved from the flood. Now, this ship that he actually built, we discover, is not a gigantic boat. Zemaziah and Azazel were the two chiefs or leaders of this particular crew of these watchers. And these Ejiji people are these Anunnaki workers. And the fallen angels impart various types of knowledge and skills that were previously unknown to mankind. Then they started doing something again that was against the prime directive. They started teaching forbidden knowledge, was going to expedite our advancement technologically. And when you advance your technological prowess, all of a sudden, there's room for extreme detriment to that civilization. They praise Enoch for being so holy and so good to God that he was taken away and straight to heaven. He didn't have to die. He went straight into heaven and he never came back. They tell you that.
So Elon walked with God and then Elon was no more. So he basically, he didn't die. He was raptured up into heaven, essentially. But I'm telling you right now, a lot of this stuff sounds good, the Anunnaki, sounds like spooky knowledge. But if you actually start to look into the past of this guy, Billy Carson, you start to see, okay, there's some dark stuff that, it seems like maybe you forgot to mention, or if you really start to look into him, you're going to realize, okay, this guy, it sounds good. That's what the Bible is warning us. In the last days, there will be prophets, people who quote unquote prophesy. It will seem like they know, they talk so well. The words are almost like honey, but behind this false doctrines. And you're going to end up losing your soul if you're following this stuff.
That this guy was just, a real good guy. And
But the book of Enoch, though, you should check out. I'm trying to get my hands on the book of Enoch. So if you know anything, let me know in the comment section down below. And let me know your opinion as well.
He did everything that God wanted. And he was without sin. And he was so incredible that, hey, just...
That's false. He wasn't without sin. We know that. The only one who was without sin was Christ. So that's what I'm saying. You need to start to listen to every word that sounds like honey in that person's mouth. And you're going to realize this. Just like Satan tempted God or Christ with, if you're truly the Son of God, then turn this stone into bread. And then Michael Jackson happened just to have sung it in a song. Like Jesus did by turning stone to bread. You should know what song I'm talking about. It's what the devil does is he gives you, it seems like he's giving you everything of truth, and then in there there's just one nugget that's twisted and it makes it false and satanic, essentially.
Take him straight to heaven. Just bypass the whole death process. Just go ahead and take him to heaven. And so that's the story that you get, but that's not the actual true story. It's quite interesting that Enoch is highly, highly, highly revered in the biblical text. However, his own book was left out of the Bible. Now, why do you think that is? Why do you think Enoch's text was left out of the canonized Bible? Well, I'll tell you why. Because it's talking about these people behind me. That's why. It's an ancient Jewish religious text traditionally ascribed to Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah. Now, who is Noah? We know now, because I've been reading the Epic of Gilgamesh, that Noah is actually Zeazudra, okay? That's his real name, Zeazudra, before it was converted to the name of Noah in more recent texts. His original name is Zeazudra, or even in some, depending on which version of the Epic of Gilgamesh, Akkadian or Babylonian, it could be Unapishtim, okay? Zeazudra is the most commonly known name, but Enoch is the great-grandfather of the person that was actually given the instructions on how to build a ship to be saved from the flood. Now, this ship that he actually built, we discover in the Sumerian tablets, is not a gigantic boat like what they have been preaching to you in Sunday school. He was given the instructions, and how do I know this? Well, the tablet is actually in the British Museum. He was given the instructions on how to build a gigantic round disc submersible, or maybe it flew. I don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows. And it was cut up into...
There's a lot of things that he doesn't know that he would just skip over. I'm bringing it to you guys' attention so you start to listen to the words like, oh, I don't know. I mean, laugh over it and then it goes. It was like, if you're missing out crucial information, don't you see what you're doing? You're painting a false narrative. And then on the parts that you're uncertain or you just laugh over and you just brush it. But in people's heads, it's staying and being confirmed as if you know for certain what you're talking about. No, his name wasn't this. It was Zeozoza. It was this. It was this. It was that. And you're bringing together texts that you read from either from the book of Enoch, and you're painting it with some Anunnaki ancient scribe nothing is confirmed or solidified, but because you read it. And by the way, this guy used to be an ex-Christian, if you don't know. And don't forget, everybody will call themselves Christian. And just like it says in the Bible, plenty will come to me and say, did we not prophesy and cast out demons in your name and do all of this stuff? And Christ will be like, hey, I don't know you. I don't know you. So
sex is like a pie on the inside. And he was told to put his local flora and fauna and his local livestock in that disc. He never built a gigantic ship. Not once did he build a ship. That is false information. Not once did...
Because Billy said so. False information. Do you see what do you see what I mean? So what thousands and tens of thousands or whatever of years of people that's been documented everywhere, literally everywhere, archaeologists and all of this, we're just supposed to disregard that because Billy said, and with no proof, something that sounds like, oh, well, from the Gilgamesh, from the this, that, because of a book that hasn't been tested, tried or proven. Do you see where the wickedness starts to come from? And I'm saying this from experience because when he first came on the scene, I started to believe this guy. I can't lie to you. I said, well, it sounds legit. Anunnaki, he had this. It sounds... He's got a deceiving spirit that he's walking around with. If you're a true Christian, I'm telling you right now, wake up. He's got a deceiving spirit. His tongue is he's good. He's good at what he's doing. And hence to why I'm starting to see almost as if he's a plant or industry plant. Because now he's on everywhere, all sorts of podcasts, everywhere. This Billy guy, and he's been given the mic to explain, this, and all of it is starting to confuse a lot of Christians. If you don't believe me, look at this comment section will be biased, obviously, I'm certain. But it's not the video I was looking for. There's one of the videos where you start to see where he's just deceiving a ton of people, a ton of Christians. And Christians are literally like, I mean, this guy sounds like he sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
Two parakeets and 2 lions and 2 deer and 2 cockroaches and 2 fleas and 2 ticks and all this come on the boat. Didn't happen. Okay. I'm just telling you right now. It did not happen. He was literally told to get his local flora and fauna and his local livestock and take on this.
I told you guys, this guy will laugh. It's the demons in him manifesting. He will laugh because... Well, the demons know the truth, but he's laughing because it's a joke. Like, but whenever he's saying the things that he wants to penetrate your mind and trying to deceive you, he's not laughing. It's not funny. But yeah, you guys are so silly. I mean, the rest of the world is so silly, and millions and millions and millions of people for believing. Yeah, it's just so silly. It's just, it was literally a spaceship that was great, Rav. There's going to be a massive deception. Aliens have arrived and all of this is a massive deception. Project Blue Beam and all of that stuff. But that's a video for another story.
Disc
another day.
That was cut up into sections like a pie on the inside, but it was a sealed disc, like a saucer. That's what he was in. And we know this for an absolute fact now. There's no way to get around it. There's absolutely no way to get around it. So Enoch is the great-grandfather.
So as investigators, we're not supposed. Sorry, I apologize if I'm posing the videos, but I'm literally trying to paint truth so you can understand and have wisdom and seek for yourself. So there's no way around it. Aren't you supposed to have an open mind when you're trying to find the truth? But no. Don't have an open. No. There's no way. There's absolutely no way around it. That end is closed off. Closed off, as
Like
we
a
just
saucer.
heard.
That's what he was in. And we know this
That's
for
what
an
he was in.
absolute fact now. There's no way to get
For
around
a
it.
fact.
There's absolutely no way to get around it. So Enoch is the great grandfather. Now, what's important here is we're aligning a man who has directly interacted with these advanced beings. Now we know his own descendant.
These advanced. Does this not look like a demon? Children of God, wake up. Like, what is going on? Does this not look like a demon? I mean, there are people who've been adopted by aliens and have had demonic encounters at the same time, and they paint and draw exact demons like this with massive eyes, like aliens. It's a massive deception that is coming in several years. It's sooner than you think. Alien invasion, they've been preparing it. And guys, you gotta be
Also
fooled,
interacted
man.
with these advanced beings as he was given the actual instructions on how to build this from Enki, one of these Anunnaki people. Enki saved him and his family's life by teaching him how to build this particular disc-shaped floating device, if whatever you want to call it, right? This DNA bank, if maybe it was that. But we see a direct connection between Enoch and Ziusudra, who's actually now called Noah in more modern texts, because the Bible is New Age information, not Old Age, it's New Age. So it's interesting that connection, that lineage is there.
Oh my days. So what you're saying is not New Age information, but the Bible is new. What existed, God knows how many of years before we even landed on here, that depicted and told the prophecy of there'll be a guy or there'll be a boy that will come by the name of Christ. He will rescue, his blood will basically come to rescue the people. Everything we know about the Bible, that is before you and I was born. No, that's New Age. That's New Age. It doesn't match up with anything. What I'm saying is Old Age, like what you guys haven't heard of before, that is getting so many views and so many people are like curious, like, well, we've never heard about this before. No, that's not new. That's old. What you've heard of, old from back then, that is new. This sounds like witchcraft. The witchcraft is the reverse of everything. That's why they turned the cross upside down, symbolizing Christ never died. Christ never died and resurrected. He died and stayed dead. That's why it's upside down in witchcraft. No. None of this is what I'm saying is good. That is bad. Like everything he is saying, he's going against the Bible. He's doing the opposite. It wasn't a ship. It was a flying saucer. His name wasn't this. It was that. He wasn't supposed to build the boats. Somebody else was supposed to build it. Everything backward and in reverse. Heavenly Father in heaven, I pray that you enlighten and you open people and you give them wisdom to be able to understand and the discernment that they need to be able to break down and see whenever a false prophet arise, because plenty of instances, things like this will start to happen. People will start popping out the woodworks and their words will be like honey. They'll be very smooth.
People, same bloodline, both being directly engaged by these beings. The descent of the Watchers, they descended from the sky. When we hear this in the biblical text or the Enoch text, what are we being told here? We're being told that these people, and I do mean people, came from the sky down. They descended from the sky down to the earth, and they were called the Watchers. They were the Watchers. They would watch over humanity, and in some ways they were forbidden to engage humanity. Some of them were forbidden to actually engage, in other words, to directly interact or interfere. It was against the rules. They actually had something called a prime directive, the same kind of prime directive you see that they utilize that same term in Star Trek. In the Star Trek TV series, since it came out in 1960 all the way till now, they have a prime directive in which they cannot directly engage or interact with any civilization that's pre-warp. If that civilization is pre-warp and they're going to actually go down to the surface of that planet, then they have to pretend like they're part of that culture. They have to pretend like they fit in, like they're not really aliens or from space. And they can't alter or change or give them any technology in any way, shape, or form. It's forbidden, literally forbidden. Well, they got that information from the ancient tablets. And the Watchers descended to Earth because they were attracted to human women. Now, that's not me saying that. That's in the book of Enoch. That's the ancestors saying this. They were attracted to human women. And this group of angels was led by chiefs such as Zemaziah and Azazel. Zemaziah and Azazel were the two chiefs or leaders of this particular crew of these Watchers. And they decided, you know what? These girls look pretty damn good. We're going to take some human wives. Now, it's interesting that when you read the Enuma Elish or the Epic of Atrahasis, you discover these beings in there. They call them the Ijiji. And these Ijiji people are these Anunnaki workers. They're not slaves, but they're the working class. In other words, if I own a construction company, I'm the boss. Then I have a master architect, and underneath that, I have a foreman, and then underneath the foreman, I have workers who go out and actually do the labor to build the product or the house. You see, it's a structure, it's a system. Well, these Ijiji, they said the same exact thing in the Epic of Atrahasis. They said, we want to get some of these human women. We don't have no women over here. They were working, according to them, they were working on Mars, and they were complaining about the conditions. And they said, you're working us like we're slaves, and we're not slaves. And not to mention, we want to take some of these women back with us. So
And notice about angels or fallen angels trying to mate with women because, well, with mankind. Because back then, the bloodline was way more pure. So these are descendants, because these are humans who are descendants. Obviously, we're all descendants of Adam and Eve, but they were direct. Because before the flood, after the flood wiped, everything changed. And don't forget, Noah and and his kids or his family in the ark, they were the last pure bloods. That's one of the major reasons as to why they were spared as well and just not wiped out completely. You know, delete and start over again, because the fallen angels mated or created children with Nephilim, created children with the humans, which created hybrid demigods or demons, half human, half demon, half demigod. But they fancied or they liked or fell in love with these women because they were stunning. They were direct bloodlines. Like, I'm on about, this is zero corruption taking place yet anyways. And they fell in love with these humans because they were basically, I'm trying to put it in nice words, they were way more attractive than all of us in this day and age. Due to sin, the more sin occurs in the world, the less pure or beauty you want to say, like, because back then, if you just want to think of it vegetation wise or food wise, everything was pure. None of this processed garbage was going on. They were glowing, almost glowing. They were absolutely stunning women back then. I mean, that's why you even see all of the depiction in the Bible when it talks about women, Queen Sheba, all of these people, females were described as like striking, you know, and this person came across upon them and they were beautiful. They were this. When the Bible is describing beauty, I'm on about like they were stunning. Stunning enough that even non-humans were like, no, yeah, we need to. So what he's talking about, the watchers making it sound like these are just demons, fallen angels who took a liking to the beauty of humans and they wanted to mate with them. And yes, angels can mate with humans. Shapeshifters can happen. In witchcraft, you can shapeshift. So why wouldn't a fallen angel be able to shapeshift? Okay, and into a human and have intercourse with a human and create a hybrid race. All of this can happen. I mean, we have celebrities today like the Katy Perrys and Taylor Swift, who openly with their own mouths confess that they have sex with demons at night. How are they doing that? I told you guys this video is going to get deep, and I'm not holding back. And this video is not for the person who's bored. Oh, I don't want to, I love Billy Carson. No, I'm speaking the truth, straight facts. I was like, okay, cool. We're not watching this just to react. Oh, you let the video play. No, we're watching this so it sets you free from all the bondage, all of these false prophets who are coming and trying to tweak the Bible with something from the Bible. So the book of Enoch, who's in the Bible, is mentioned in the Bible. So, he's trying to tweak it where, well, don't you see this? There's more into it, which this thing is, and is bending truth in real time, which it sounds good. But if you don't have that discernment, you're going to fall for it. You're going to end up in necromancy, talking of the dead, with the Ouija boards and all form of tarot cards and crystals. This is where this leads to. Astrology, aliens, they're non-existent. These are demons and fallen angels, guys. Wake up. I want to hear from you guys in the comment section down below, because I know in this comment section of this video, look, you see people praising it. This is why I continue to read and look for answers beyond my normal Christian upbringing. Reading more, for example, like the book of Enoch and whatnot, it's not scripture, because if it was, it would have been involved in it. But Enoch is mentioned in the Bible, and it clarifies that he was taken away from God, blah, blah, blah. He was taken by God. So you can look into that, but don't mistake the Bible itself for what it is. Seek a relationship. Seek first the kingdom of God, and the rest will be added onto you. Nice and easy. So let's see what other... Let's jump to this part of the video.
A sky daddy with a magic wand whisking away a good human into heaven. It's a story of advanced beings with advanced technology that's capable of space travel, taking a man from the earth into space and teaching him things. This is why the book of Enoch is not in the Bible. Then you have the revelation of secrets. Throughout his heavenly journey, Enoch is also shown secrets that are not known to other humans. He's given forbidden knowledge. These include ultimate judgments of the angels and humans, hidden paths of the stars. He's given star maps and the storehouses of life and rain, which are meant to explain both cosmic and earthly operations from a divine standpoint. He's given the information and knowledge how to predict weather patterns on earth. That is what the book of Enoch is all about. That's what the book of Enoch is all about. You'll find everything I'm talking about is right in this book, the book of Enoch, one of the most revered people in the biblical text, whose book was omitted by the Council of Nicaea. Why? We don't want to tell them about these aliens taking people into space and teaching them how to kill each other,
No, not that we don't want to tell them about these aliens we don't want to tell them about these demons. That's one of the reasons I believe as to why it was taken out. Why would the devil reveal his own kingdom and expose? The book of Enoch talks about a lot of things in regards to fallen angels and demons that, no, yes, these are reals. These are real things, like fallen angels. They came, they done this. Azazel that he's talking about, who taught mankind how to fight, how to make weapons, war, there's certain demons that taught mankind how to create makeup, apply makeup to your face so you can look more attractive and all of this stuff. So that's one of the reasons to why it was taken out, because the best weapon that the enemy has, or the devil has, against humans is to make humans believe that he doesn't exist. He's not real. Why would you fight an enemy that you don't believe exists? It's like being put in a prison with glass walls. Why would you want to exist? Because you don't believe you're in prison. So why am I trying to escape something I don't believe I'm in? That's way more powerful than, hey, by the way, I exist and I'm coming for your soul. That will just expose everything, right? So that's what we're dealing with. It's not because, they don't want you to know about this technology. They couldn't care less. You think the elites aren't talking with demons? Aren't doing seances on the floor, conjuring up demons that will give them advanced technology? Where do you think all this tech is coming from? Elon Musk making these robots. Start looking into deep stuff, you realize, whoa. Maybe Ronnie's talking some sense. You don't think these guys are going into another dimensions to get stuff and then bring it back to this world? Advanced technology? You don't think this is happening? No? You don't even think to as simple as songs, Michael Jackson, from his own mouth, and the people who are around him, sleeping for 5 days in a row, being forced to wake up because he just traveled from another dimension, coming back with songs such as Thriller, the Corey Bunts, which is a demon religion, basically. They used to paint their faces white, hence the why, he turned his face white, blah, blah, blah. And they'll shout whilst they're conjuring up spirits, ow, oh! You think I'm joking? I am not joking. It sounds like a joke. They'll make those kinds of noises whilst they're sacrificing their kids to Baal in Kabbalism. Guys, I'm telling you right now, this stuff is real, and this man right here is a false prophet. Believe me. And research into it, not what he's telling you, but research into it. Okay, all right, what if this guy was wrong, and maybe this Bible that's been alive before this guy was in diapers and the Bible existed, and he's calling it New Age? What if what he's saying is wrong, and what the Bible is saying, there will be false prophets that will come in the last days who will try everything to deceive you? What if he just happens to be one of them? What if? And you come off of trying to be the woke guy with all of the secret knowledge. Let's jump into another part. Because here he's just spent the whole 20 minutes just Enoch and so now let's jump into this spike right here.
Huge story. It's taught in universities in ancient civilizations. Like, you can't be an ancient historian without doing a complete paper on the Epic of Gilgamesh. It's a massive story. It's considered an actual poem. And in there is who? Enlil, right? This is Sumerian Babylonian story. And Enlil is the one that sends Gilgamesh on this hero's journey. And what's interesting about this hero's journey, Gilgamesh didn't want to be alone on this journey through the wilderness that he had to go on. And so Enlil fashioned him an artificial man, a friend to go with him that he created, literally fashioned him and imbued him with knowledge and intelligence, which is AI, and sent him along his way with his friend. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, they're on the search for Ziusudra. Ziusudra, or also known as Unapishtim, is also the biblical Noah. And this story about Noah and the flood was written in the Emerald Tablets 4,400 years before the Bible was even thought of being written. They discovered something amazing. Let me show the people what they discovered. They discovered these tablets. Guess what this is? The original tablets with the original instructions for Ziusudra to create an ark. Now,
if I haven't forgotten, these was actually confirmed to be fraud.
Let's talk about this ark that they were told to create and what it is, right? So the tablets were found. So there was an instruction that was given down to Noah, aka Ziusudra, aka Unapishtim. That's the really, two names between Babylonian and Assyrian. And this information was to create an ark that was in the shape of a disc.
Flying saucer.
When we was doing some research on the show yesterday, and we came up with was the ark a spacecraft? Could it be a spacecraft? That was it's right here on the bottom right here, and it was number 9 to add. So I got a few questions I was going to ask you, and that was one of them right there. So there we go.
So it's pretty interesting.
Do these people not realize even the thing about spacecraft and all of this? None of this took place before NASA was founded by Wernher von Braun, which was a Nazi basically. None of this stuff took place. They not even projected. They worked super hard to conjure up essentially this whole ideology is about aliens, advanced technology, advanced this, advanced that. This is just in time when Disney, because Wernher von Braun was great friends with Disney as well, by the way, on his tombstone, it talks about a Bible verse that says God's handiwork, how God created the firmament and so forth, which the whole ideology behind NASA is, globe, world, the earth, basically God non-existent, okay, showing us that God doesn't exist. It's all about outer space, aliens, and all of this. When we know less about our own waters, that's what they say anyways. And notice all the space experiments is done underwater. Guys, everything is upside down and backwards as to what you know. That is literally a video for a video for another time. But everything you think you know about the way the world operates, it's actually in reverse. And when you talk about things like this, you sound like a madman. But hey, the truth has to be the truth has to be told. Let's see what this part is saying, because I want you guys to check out the video for yourself with the knowledge of, okay, I'm seeking for knowledge.
Up into space and bring him back.
And I want to be able to decipher this. Up into space and bring him back where?
He was going to go away for a while to learn from them. And he even went and sat with his sons and gave them the records and the information they needed to sustain their estate. And it was a planned day that he was going to be going with these people into space. And he left on that day. When he comes back, he describes seeing the earth as a gigantic sphere from above the cloud. Okay, this is why this information didn't make it into the Bible, because they want you to believe this crazy of fairy tales instead of understanding the real and true facts. And we've been engaged by advanced people. And the scariest part is, for most people, is these people look like us or we look like them. When you research into the Greys, you discover that the Greys may not even be, they have a hominid body type still, because you have a head, 2 arms, 2 legs. It's still a bilateral bipedal organism. But that the Greys are probably more likely a synthetic type of a being with an advanced level of AI that's allowed them to become completely sentient and conscious, and that their creators have long since died off and gone. And what the Greys do with all these abductions is they're trying to find a way to blend their body, their cybernetic biological bodies, with real biological life forms, or in order to create a hybrid that can obtain a certain level of immortality through death. In other words, when they die, they're just dead. They don't have the capability of ascending or transcending dimensions. So by combining or creating hybrids, a hybrid race, by combining with human beings, which is a lot of these abduction cases, they're always taking genetic material. They could be creating a hybrid that now has a spiritual consciousness that can transcend dimensions through death, that can come back and reincarnate as a physical being in the 3rd dimension, or ascend to higher dimensions. This is the official story of the tablet. The Babylonian tablet shows how Noah's Ark could have been constructed. The British Museum expert says 3,700-year-old instructions describe how to build a round boat, but he does not believe the Ark even existed. Noah's Ark was never built, still less crash landed on Mount Ararat. So he's saying not only was it not built, but it didn't crash. They've been trying to rebuild it based on these instructions, according to them. Now, they don't think it was built because it's too hard. But again, we couldn't build a pyramid, so who knows? A British Museum expert.
It's not even who knows. It's not that it's too hard. It's because they were giants. As in Noah's kids and Noah were giants. I'm on about giants, not the same size as us. I'm on about giants. Huge. You can't even imagine. That's how they were able to build this. And even with the pyramids back in the days, people were way bigger than the way we are right now. After Noah's Ark and the flood taking place, we started to go downhill, size, how big we were and how long we lived. That's why they outlived everybody. They lived way longer. There was more pure energy, oxygen in the world itself. And we know, or some of you guys might not know, but even till today, there's certain parts, and I'm from Africa, believe me, there's certain parts in Africa, DRC specifically, where plants and animals around there, they grow bigger because the oxygen there is is 10 times the oxygen we're breathing right now, with our pollutions and all of this that's going on, trash and garbage that's been projected by airplanes, chemtrails, and all of this stuff is designed to destroy. But there's certain parts of the world where animals just grow absolutely huge. Have you ever seen those ginormous frogs in certain areas where they just grow bigger? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? The nutrients they're consuming, the oxygen, the air, everything around them is priming them to grow huge and bigger. You see? Ethiopia, I believe, no, if not Ethiopia, how can I forget one of the countries? Well, anyways, the African country where every person there is huge, they're tall. I believe it's Ethiopia. Every person is just massive, absolutely tall. Tallest country in the world. Sudan, my bad, South Sudan. Absolutely known for being huge, right? South Sudan, yeah. Sudan, where it's abnormal. It's so abnormal that people make videos about it. 17 million views 3 years ago there. So it's a massive, ginormous known thing. I mean, look at this school kid going to school. This kid's going to school. This kid, he's a kid. He's going to school. Guys, absolutely insane, man. So it's a massive known thing, but Noah and his kids, they weren't the same size as us. They were ginormous people. That's why they were able to build Noah's Ark and so forth. If you don't believe, look, that's what I keep saying. The world is not what you think it is. I keep repeating that, guys. It is absolutely not what you think it is. Look into it. Be wary and careful, because in the last days, just like the Bible says, there will be false prophets like Billy Carson who are designed to strip your soul under the cover of, knowledge. They know something you don't. Hidden knowledge, ancient knowledge. As long as you hear alien technology, just know you're dealing with dimensional beings who are Nephilim, fallen angels, Satan, demons, satanic, demonic beings who they want to kidnap. All of this kidnapping you're hearing is just demon possession, okay? With some of the higher ups, they know about this, and they want to open up CERN, which is a portals that they're trying to do to be able to bring that dimension into our reality. They're trying to bring these demons into our world physically, which will set up the stage for Armageddon, which is coming in the end times, basically. Like Avengers Endgame. That's going to take place, but with demons. They're trying to figure out a way to physically bring demons into our world, from Hollow Earth, from the reverse world, the upside down world, to conjure them up in real time, in real life, into our existence. That's what they're trying to do, basically. So these demons, because they don't have mouths, and we have mouths, and we can speak things into existence. Life and death is in the power of the tongue, as it says in the Bible. They don't have mouths. So that's why they love possessing people. When somebody's possessed, they take over their mouths and they speak. It's not him. He's not here. He's dead. They've taken over because they need mouths to be able to conjure and create reality. Because they don't have mouths. They speak in frequency. They speak in sound, telepathically. Guys, I don't even want to get too deep on this video. But look, be open, Bible-wise, and just consume the word of God, and God will reveal to you. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, of course, and everything else will be handed over to you. If you don't know God, seek him. The God of the Bible, Jesus Christ, Yahweh, the one who died for your sins, the one whose blood lives because he sacrificed himself for you and I. Seek him and he will reveal himself to you. Okay? God bless you all, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Subscribe, like, do all of that. Share this video to someone who needs this, because this Billy, guys, is leading people to hell. God